familiar with what is logic? After distributing the papers, do you think it is necessary to explain? Huh? Aye. There are two things: illustration, that which is explained by illustration. Two things are there. So the illustration is in the mountain, fire is there because we see smoke, as in the kitchen. Kitchen in the sense, in olden days, they used to lit firewood. So if the firewood is little wet, then smoke used to come. So this is the illustration. Then the opponent says, there may be a smoke in the mountain, but there is no fire. Then he says, you see, it cannot be. Because there is Vyapti is there, he says. That is, wherever smoke is there, fire should be there. Without fire, smoke cannot come. So, there is fire. On the mountain, this is the illustration. But now, in which way it is connected to the subject? He says, Jagrad avastha mithya drishyatva swapnavat. The waking state is unreal because seeing as we see dream. Waking state is unreal because we are seeing, we are the seer, we are the witness of the dream. As the dream. So, this is that which is explained by illustration. Now, he says the statement, proposition to be proved or established is called pratigna. So, in that, it is divided into two parts, paksha and sadhya. Then what is paksha? That is, you see, the opponent says, there is no fire in the mountain. There is no fire in the mountain. But the answer was given, no, there is fire. Yes, proved. Now the opponent says, the waking objects are real. But the answer, he says, is there and there. So the point of controversy or contradiction is called paksha. What is paksha? Where the opponent and answering person, they are having a point of contradiction. One fellow says real and unreal. The opponent says real. So now we have to prove. To prove the unreality of the object seen in the waking state is pratigna. That is the vow. the Siddhanti has taken, the answering person. So the point of contradiction between the opponent and our end of answer, there it is the mountain, here it is the waking state. Here what we have taken, the waking state is unreal. Object seen in the waking state is Paksha because more place is there and the reality of the objects are not clear. In the dream, we see in the nadi, it is very small. Even we don't find, even we cut the body and see. But as the Shastras say, one sees dream in Hita Nadi. And we are seeing, because of the effect, we infer the cause. We are seeing the dream. Shastra says where it is in Hita Nadi. So we accept Hita Nadi. Then Nadi is very small. That's why the opponent says, you see, here more place is there to put a part, to put an object, whatever it may be. But the unreality is not clear in the waking state. That's what he said. Then what is sadhya to prove or establish the answer, unreality? Varnitvam, there in the mountain, here sadhya is unreality. That we want to prove. And what is the reason? The reason for inference, there it is smoke, here is drishyatvam, seeing. It is seeing. A witness, a seer, or drishyatvam, whatever you may say. We see the dream, and after waking up we say, it is unreal. So the illustration is quite clear. Illustration, there in the kitchen, or here it is dream. That's all right. Then comes Upanaya or Vyapti. Vyapti is universal accompaniment or common ground in both the waking objects and the dream objects. You are seeing the objects in the dream. You are the seer and you are seeing the objects. You are the subject and objects are objects. See? That is why you say they are unreal after waking up. Here also, in the waking state, you are the seer, you are the witness, you are seeing. You are seeing a part, but you never say, I am the part. You say. So whatever you see, it is unreal. It is ephemeral, it is changing. So, Upanaya is Vyapti, the universal accompaniment. This is the example of Vyapti. Yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vani. Wherever there is smoke, there fire is there. But here, here in this case, yatra yatra drishyatvam, the seeing, tatra tatra mithyatvam, anityatvam, unreality. Where seeing is there as a subject, object seen is unreal. As in dream, so in waking state. But because of ignorance, Because of lack of knowledge, we think that we are the body, our mind, our senses, or something else. See? So, this the scriptures say Maya or ignorance. Taking the support of the scriptures, understanding and contemplating on that, reflecting on the subject of the scriptures, we should accept what the scriptures say. Because our own body is unreal. We are not going to live in the span of 1,000 years. When it goes away, we don't know. Where the subject is there, where the subject in the body. Where is the subject? In the body, the consciousness. So, the agent which is accommodating the subject itself is unreal. Then what to talk of the objects which it sees outside? They are more unreal. But until and unless the discrimination increases in you, you cannot understand. Since ages together, since birth together, we have come with this particular idea on the body. Now we came to know through Shastras, we wanted to remove the consciousness of the body. So we have to practice a little discrimination and dispassion. Then Nigamana, concluding statement of Pratigna. Based on Vyapti, we are concluding Pratigna that there is fire in the mountain when there is smoke. So we conclude that objects which are seen is unreal in waking state also. Because you are the same. A subject can never be an object can never be a subject. Very simple equation. Only thing is we combine both the subject and object. That is called ignorance, whatever you may call. Now, some of the points which we have discussed yesterday. The wise say, wise in the sense, men of discrimination say, the state of waking and dream are same. Both are unreal. How the waking and dream are same? That we have seen in page 339, Swapna Nidra is out. Here, the sleep, it is called Tattva Apradipodha Lakshana Nidra, the ignorance of not experiencing the consciousness that is there in the dream as well as in sleep. Another reason he says, the Siddhanti, Adyantavantao, everything is the beginning and the end. And before the birth, there is no body, and after death, there is no body. Before seeing the dream, there is no dream. After seeing the dream, there is no dream. dream also is ending. And in the waking state, mind is attached to something. You give it up, and again you take something else as a support. Mind is constantly changing. The desires are changing. Objects are not changing. Mind is changing. So a changing thing is not real. Changing thing is not real. That's why everything is having a beginning and end. Mind is constantly changing. Then here he comes, the opponent. What you say that waking state is unreal is not correct. Why? He says, in dream, whatever objects we see, we don't use them. There we may be seemingly using in the dream state. But here, we eat well, stomach is full up, and we are having some satisfaction. And so many things we do, that is saprayojanata. Usefulness is seen in the waking, but not in the dream. That's why, though the dream is unreal, waking state is not unreal. See, that is the question put by the opponent. Then what is the answer? See, yesterday I told you, we have reserved a seat in a train or plane temporarily for a few hours. And afterwards you have to leave it. Return. So, the usefulness is temporary. It is not permanent. The usefulness of the objects. And another thing also I told, we prepare so many delicious dishes. From morning till noon, within 15 minutes, half an hour, eat and everything is over. So, the enjoyment of eating is temporary. Enjoyment of sleep, temporary. You cannot sleep all through your life. Prakriti Laya it is called. Just like sleeping Kumbhakarna for 6 months. That you cannot do. So he says, Phala Pariyantatva Abhava. And what he says, Swapne Vipratipadyate. You see one dream, and again you see another dream. You enjoy one object, you give it up, and you want another. In India, see, they put a joke. Your children, my children, and our children are playing. So, changing. You are having few children with somebody else, and I am having some. Now we both are having some children. Everybody is playing. Why I am telling the change. So he says, the enjoyment that you are getting through the objects is not permanent. It's temporary. So how can it compete with the real thing? Real is the subject. That's why, though you say we enjoy the objects in the waking state, it is only temporary, it is not permanent. That's what he said. फलपर्यंतत्व अभावात् अव्यवहित उत्तर काले सप्रयोजनत्वात्. So the result is not permanent immediately after some time. The usefulness is not there in a particular object. It is changing. Then again he asks a question. The waking state is real. Why? The illustration that you have given is not correct. Because we see some apurva. That is, what we see here differently, many new things we see in the dream. Having 4 heads, or having 3 eyes, having 8 hands, like that, and as if we have been to heaven, all these things we see. Then he says, the scripture says that the chariot and the charioteer and the path, all these things are unreal which you see in the dream. And what is the another reason he gave the answer? That is the characteristic of the dreamer. He has mixed the impressions and he sees. He might have seen the tusk of an elephant, 2. Now here he sees 4. And he must have seen in a picture or television 3-eyed Shiva. Now he thinks on him. And he must have seen that the heaven. Now he sees that I am in the heaven. What happens? The impressions of the past life, the impressions of the present life, impressions of the past are in your subconscious mind. Impressions of the present are in the conscious mind. Conscious mind is very, very small when compared to the unconscious mind. According to the Puranas, at least 7 lives impressions are there in your subconscious mind. Or you may say 6, one is in conscious and another is 7, 6 in subconscious. The impressions are in you. They get intermingled and you see them as dream. That is why, though a man wants to control his mind, he is not able to. Mind will be oscillating. Ishvara sarvabhutana mudre says Brahman sarvabhutana. As if a puppet show is simply. He takes the help of your impressions. Accordingly, he is sending your mind out. So by practice, by determination, by other things, what you have to do? You have to evacuate your mind, both conscious as well as subconscious. That's why Sri Krishna says, Prajahati yada sarvan kama. Adjective is used. All the impressions. Sarvan parthan manogatan. They are not in the self. All the desires, the deep desires, the impressions, which are manifested and which are not manifested, everything is there in the mind. So simply he says, evacuate your mind. So again and again I say, a man belongs to any part of the world. It is not the matter. If he want to have the highest happiness, he has to evacuate his mind. That is called religion. Religion is realization, not simply talking philosophical words. So, the total religions put together come to this. Evacuate your mind, purify your mind. Then what is there inside the happiness? You can enjoy. But most of the people, they don't know the highest happiness is inside them. That is the biggest play of Maya in the world. So he says, we start 365. Apurvam sthani dharmo hi yatha swarga nivasinam. Tanayam prekshate gatva yathaiva yah sudukshitaha. These unusual things in the dream. So how can you say that the waking state is unreal? So it says, to see unusual things in dream is indeed an attribute of the dreamer. Just as it is in the case of those who dwell in heaven. These he perceives by going there, even as one well instructed does in the world. He, see, in the world we instruct. You go by this way, you go by that way, and you will reach the destination. Is it not? So many things. In the same way, he is well trained. So he can easily go to the destination. In Vedanta, they give an illustration that a rich person was taken away by the thieves. They left him in the middle of the forest, tied his hands and legs. When they have tied their eyes also, his eyes, he cannot do anything. And not only this, they have thrown him to the pit. What else he can do? They went away. So 3 thieves were there. One fellow says, let us kill him. And I was killing everything we have taken, so we'll tie his hands and finish it. So, whatever money they got, they have distributed among themselves. One fellow says to kill, another fellow says to tie. The third fellow comes back and unties all his knots and says, "This is the way. You go by this way, you will reach your village." If he is an intelligent person, if he is not attracted by the wonders of the path, he will reach the goal. In the same way, here, as we instruct to reach the goal in the waking state, so in dream, he says. Will not. These he perceives, the dreamer, by going there, even as one well instructed does in this world. So, what you say, one sees unusual things, so dream is different from the waking is not correct. Tanna swapne drishyam apurvam yanmanyase na tasvata siddham. Say dream experience is not so by its own right. Then what? It is a attribute of that particular state. Dreaming state. Swapravastha. It is the usual nature of a dreamer. He sees all things this side, that side. Then the Siddhanti asks the opponent whether he is seeing the dreams by themselves or with the help of something else. If he sees the dreams by himself, it is not correct. Why? The dreams are inert. Mind is inert. They are coming from the inert mind. How can it be real? He says apurva. That means unusual things he sees in the dream. Now, the Siddhanti what he says, whether that you say he is seeing the dreams are seen by themselves, or it is taking the support of anything else. Dream cannot be self-sufficient. It is in the mind. Mind is an inert thing. Then all right. Apurvam sthani dharmo. Then what you say? Unusual things he sees in the dream. It is indeed the attribute of the dreamer. Apurvam sthani dharmo. That's why it says sthani dharma. Now we will go to the commentary. Apurvam sthani dharmo hi sthanino drashtadev hi swapnasthanavato dharma. It is unusual attribute of the state, that is of the one who is in the state of dream and sees dream. And then he says it is the attribute of the dreamer, that's why he sees. Then how यथा स्वर्गनिवासिनाम् इंद्रादीनां सहस्राक्षत्वादि तथा स्वप्नदृशो अपूर्वोऽयं धर्मः. Just as it is in the case of the dweller in heaven, like Indra and the rest, who possesses the attributes such as thousand eyes, etc. So too, this is unusual attribute of the dreamer. So you cannot say because he is seeing some unusual things, the dream is real. And again he says, he is explaining through the illustration yatha. Then, if you say it is unusual things he sees in the dream, then he says, you see, you are telling it is the unusual attribute or the characteristic of the dreamer. Then if I say the dreamer is seeing a dream, so why don't you take the dream as real or as consciousness? That is the question. स्वप्रदृष्टे धर्मोपि चैतन्यवत् किं न स्यात्? Take the dream as consciousness itself. No. It is negated as soon as he wakes up. He says, I was seeing the dream is not real. That's why, na swataha. Na swataha siddha. The dream is not independent. Drashtu swarupavat. But the dreamer is real. But in the dreamer also there are two portions. Consciousness and I am the dreamer. The witness that he has superimposed on the consciousness. In the consciousness nothing is there. So now he has superimposed the dreaming state. Drashtu surupavat. Though it is combined there, the consciousness and the dreaming state as one, but we feel it is conscious, it is consciousness. And with that, he sees the dream. I am the dreamer and I am seeing the dream. तान एवं प्रकार पूर्वान स्वचित्त विकल्पान अयम स्थानी स्वप्रदक स्वप्न स्थाने गत्वा प्रेक्षते. He says it is not so by its own right, like the absolute nature of the sea. These the unusual things of this kind, which are one's own mental creations. It is orations or creations?
Creations.
But I see O there.
No. See. Creation.
The C touching the R looks like an O.
Acha. The dreamer sees by going to the state of dream. So he is going to the state of dream and sees. But he is not independent. The dream is not independent. And the dream is unreal. And the dreamer is the consciousness. And the Taijasa, that is called in dream, that he has superimposed on him. यथैव इह लोके सुसुक्षितो देशान्तरं मार्गस्तेन मार्गेण देशान्तरं गत्वा तान् पदार्थान् पश्यति तद्वत्. Man well trained, as here goes and reaches his goal, so in the dream he says. If they are attributed the state of dream, all right, you say the dream is not independent, it is not consciousness. You see, they are attributed of that particular state, attributed to that particular state, then what happened? By that what? The opponent asks. If you say they are attributed, but then what is the result we are going to get? What do you want to conclude? He puts a question. The opponent. The statement that waking state is unreal like dream is logical. By this we conclude as the dream is unreal, so the waking is logical. That's why how tasmad yada sthani dharmanam radhu sattvam dristigādīnām asatvam तथा स्वप्नदृश्यानाम अपूर्वाणाम स्थानि धर्मत्वमेव इत असत्वम अतो न स्वप्नदृष्टान्तस्य असिद्धत्वम. He says, therefore, just as the appearance, just as it is here in the world, that the man who is properly instructed about the routes to far off different places goes by the route to a different place and sees all things there, so too is the case here of the dreamer. Therefore, just as the appearance of the things under certain conditions, example, a snake on a rope, a mirage in a desert are unreal, so also unusual things seen in dream are unreal, since they are merely the attributes of the dreamer. As the illustration intended to show the waking state is unreal as dream is not inappropriate, it is appropriate, it is logical. That he has concluded. The unusual seeing is attributed to the state of a dreamer due to the ignorance. He sees the same ignorance is even in waking state. That's why we say it is unreal. Now you see, first he gave the reason, you are the seer. Then he gave the reason, everything is having a beginning and end, and they are constantly changing. Even the happiness is in the waking state is for few minutes. You are constantly changing. You are changing the objects. Some people are there, they purchase some laptop and immediately in the advertisement they see a new one with phone. That is the practice of business people. Then he sells it for a mark and again takes it. That means the happiness is not that. Mind is not satisfied. Many people are there, constantly changing the phone. Huh? That is the practice of business people. They want to sell. That's why they give some more facilities. So, if the happiness is in the object, why you should change? So it is not there, it is in the mind. And the mind is also changing. Ajatmanta. Something behind is there. So the seeing is real. What is seen is unreal. As you see in the dream, so you see in the waking state. That you understand well. This you are not able to understand. Not able to accept so quickly. Because the attachment, the bondage of the body and ego and I and mine are so strong, so deep rooted, you find it is difficulty to take them out. Is it not? That is why you should take the support of the scripture and discrimination you should do. But at the same time, you should have dispassion also. Discrimination without dispassion is useless. And dispassion without discrimination also useless. That's why he says, Adhyantavantau, everything. Then he says, they are unusual things we see. Then he says it is the attribute of the dreamer. It is not permanent. And what you see in the dream, that you cannot bring here, and what is here you cannot take there. So, as in the dream, so also in the waking state, many are there, they will be simply sitting and imagining something, building castles in the air, and he himself knows, oh, this is all. Nothing is there. Simply imagination. So there also, you are the seer, you are seeing your mind. When you imagine something, what is the support? Mind. For the mind, what is the support? Atma. Mind is unreal and Atma is real.
Regarding the novel forms that are seen in the trip, unusual forms. It says that it is so because these are the attributes of the dreamer.
Mm.
Now, regarding this point, can we say that if something is dependent upon something else, it's not independent, it is dependent upon, can we say that because of it that something is unreal?
Dependence, that is, we told the impressions are intermingling. Finally, it is only a dream. You may see whatever may be. That's why in the beginning, the opponent asks, we get some indication of the waking state of the dream. So how can you say it is unreal? So dream is a dream. Dream is unreal. They may be interdependent, whatever it may be. So, Everything is in the mind. Mind is inner thing. So we conclude it with nothing. So this is your question.
Not
No.
It
The-
says
Dependent.
dependent, like for example, I have a pot.
Ah.
Pot is made of clay.
Ah.
Pot
Hmm.
is made of clay. Pot is name and form.
Ah.
Name and form depends upon the clay.
Ah.
So, in relation to the clay, name and form are illusory.
Yes.
So, the name and form are attributes
Yes.
of the clay.
Ah.
Similarly, the unusual forms that are seen in the dream are attributes of the dreamer.
Yes.
Therefore, they are also unreal.
Yes.
So my question is, when he brings the point that yes, indeed, there are extraordinary forms seen in the dream, but they are attributes of the dreamer,
Ah.
can this be used as an indication
Ah.
that these names and forms, due to dependence, are unreal?
Yes.
Yes. Because you
Clearly
see,
said.
a name and forms of the dream we see is due to the impressions of the mind. So, name and form, though we see there, but the main cause is the impression. So, in the same way, that's why Muttika ityeva vacharam manam vikaro namadhe Muttika ityeva satyam. Here we are telling the name and form of a particular object depending on the impression. Isn't that? But here we have to go little further. There, as an illustration, he says that clay is the real thing for the name and form. But here, for the extraordinary objects, the impression is the cause. But he says it is an attribute of the dreamer. He goes further. He is not standing there itself. Oh, but we can say that the name and form are of the impressions of the mind. But he goes little further.
I know what Swamiji wants to say is that which is dependent is unreal. Can we say that? That which depends on something else
Yes,
is
yes.
unreal.
That's previous many times I told. Independence is life, dependence is death. Swami Medhananda says simple words. Huh? So it is interdependent, and the apurva is also, the impressions are interdependent. So dependence itself, suppose you take in day-to-day life, if you depend more on the servants for preparing food, for cleaning the house, and for many things we depend. One day, if they don't come, how much you are disturbed? Because dependence. That's why Swamiji simply says, Swami Medhananda, dependence is death, independence is life. Don't depend on anything for anything. Be independent. Independent means do all your works for yourself. Then no problem. That is. So here the impressions are not independent. They are supported by the consciousness. In the consciousness we see the. So now he is going further. Apurvatva Shanka Nirakrita. Seeing the extraordinary things as being refuted by telling it is the nature of the dreamer. Then स्वप्नदृष्टान्तस्य पुनः स्वप्नतुल्यतां जाग्रद्वेदानां प्रपंचेन this. After refuting the objection regarding the illustration of the dream, the perception of unusual things in dream, the Karika now proceeds to explain further the similarity of objects of the waking and dream states. Similarity of the objects is there. In the dream, everything is unreal, and reality is proved by the absolute. And reality is proved because of the absolute bliss nature of Atma. So, the dream and the absolute bliss of Atman are different. Is it not? Dream is the object and bliss of Atman is the subject. So how can they both be one? They are different from the absolute truth. The difference of unreality is not seen in the waking state. See, in the dream it is quite clear. How? No light, no place, and immediately after waking up, you say it is only a dream. So many things they are carried. It is a dream. Dream is unreal. This much you know. But is the nature of the dreamer that particular state, and in the presence of consciousness I am seeing the dream, because light is not there outside. You are closing the eyes, but you are seeing the light. So where from it has come? You have to say it is inside. That is, say, self-luminosity, yesterday I told. So now something is there. But ordinary people, it is daily, it is going on, so they don't pay much attention, they don't discriminate. So those who follow the scriptures, they have some understanding and discrimination. So he says, the self-effulgency that we see in the dream is of the blissful Atma. There it is clear. That is a seen and the seen. But here in the waking state it is not so clear. That's why he said, स्वप्नवृत्तावपि तु अंतश्चेतसा कल्पितं तो असत् बहिश्चेतो गृहीतं सदृष्टं वैतत्यमेतयोः. Even in dream, what is imagined by the mind within is unreal, while what is grasped outside by the mind is real. But both these are seen to be unreal. Now a footnote is given by the mind. The word used in the text is chitta, which can be translated as consciousness or mind. In dream, the mind does not cease to function. Hence also the word can be translated as mind. The chitta is the storehouse of all our experienced things. Now he is going to tell afterwards. What we experience, that only we remember. Without experiencing, there is no remembrance. So, the mind is having four parts. That one is sankalpa vikalpa, he thinks of something, whether to do or not do. That we call man. And intellect, it determines, yes, this is good for me, let me do it. And then comes the chitta. Chitta is the storehouse of all our experiences. Smarana. The storehouse of smarana we can say. And then ego factor. So he says, can be translated as consciousness or mind, he says. Chitta. Chitta is actually, if we say Chetana or Chaitanya is consciousness. Is it right? Yeah. Swapna vrittavapitu antas chetasa kalpitam to asat. Chetasa he says. Is not. Antas chetasa means we have to take it as the mind. But mind is a nothing. It cannot do alone. That's why it takes the support of the consciousness. Now in this particular state, the consciousness of the Atman and the inertness of the mind, they become one. Just like a black iron ball putting into the fire. Afterwards, if you take it, it becomes red. Iron ball is black. It is not red. And the iron is, the fire is not a round thing. So they have exchanged their attributes. In the same way, the Chetasa, that's why he says, we can say as consciousness. How consciousness? After superimposing the mind. Or you say mind, that is taking the reflection of the consciousness. Chetasa. Kalpitam to asat. But what is imagined by the mind within is unreal. Whatever we see, everything is unreal. While what is grasped outside by the mind is real. Now he said, what we grasp outside, immediately we say the dream is unreal. But here we say the same object we see again and again. But both these are seen to be unreal. Then what Gaudapada says? How? No. Swapna vrittavapi swapnastanepi antaschetasa manoratha sankalpitam asat. Says, because of the desire inside, you have imagined that has come as the dream. Manoratha sankalpita. You have imagined something in the mind that has come as the sankalpanantara samakalameva adarsanat. Now you are seeing a particular dream. Immediately jump into another dream. See something else. So, as I told previously, now the scientists have concluded A dream can be at best for 2 minutes, not more than that. How they control reality, they know. But let us take it. So one dream you are seeing, and afterwards you see another dream. Something you are seeing, again you jump. स्वप्ने बहिश्चेतसा गृहीतं चक्षुरादिद्वारेण उपलब्धं घटादि सत्. What you see in the dream is part, but if you see in the waking state, you say it is real. इति एवं असत्यम इति निश्चितोपि सदसद् विभोगो दृष्टः. Though the unreality is confirmed, determined, but we see the difference between the real and unreal. Sat and asat. उभयोरपि अंतर्बहिश्चेत कल्पितयोर वैतथ्यमेव. Because they are the creations or imaginary things of the mind, both are unreal. That's why in the beginning we have discussed, we take a particular thing, keep it for some time, again change the thing. And the best example, illustration, nowadays everywhere it is going on, I think, especially in India it is more. Young boys and girls, they love each other. They run after one another, always. And they say, I cannot live with her, without her. And this boy says, I cannot. This girl says, I cannot live without him. They go to such an extent. Then the parents, they marry them. Some quarrel within 1 year, within 1 or 2 years, they get separated. In talak in mentality. Divorce they give. Divorce they give. See, before marriage, you are so close to her, you don't want to leave her for 2 minutes, always holding her, going. Now, what happened? Where is the happiness? He is changing the subject, object. So, the happiness is within. It is not outside. Happiness is within. That he says, Ubhayorapi antarbahishcheta kalpitiyo. At that time you thought it is happiness. Now you are thinking it is not happiness, even sorrow. Even in the state of dream, that which is imagined within by the mind is unreal, for it ceases to be seen at the next moment after being imagined. But there in the dream itself, what is grasped by the mind outside, for instance, a jar, through the eye, etc., is real. In the dream also it is real. Thus, even what is settled as unreal is seen to be both real and unreal. Dream experience. Both kinds of objects imagined by the mind, internally and externally, are seen to be unreal. Why? He says, both kinds of objects imagined, that is, everything is in the mind. Maneva karanam manushyanam bandha mokshayo. That's what it says. Mind is the cause for bondage as well as for release. Everything is the mind. Dissolve the mind.
Is there a difference between chitta and manaha? Chitta and manas?
Manas is the mind. It is sankalpa vikalpa. Can I do this or not? That is one. Chitta, as I told it, is the storehouse of our experiences. All the remembrance comes out. So, if you are having more punyam or good, you remember everything. If it is not there, you forget everything. Natural. But in 15th chapter it comes that the remembrance and forgetfulness is from me because of the good and bad. Something like that. 15. So the remembrance and is there, he says, a man of more good, he remembers more. Otherwise he forgets. So it is the storehouse of experiences, chitta. But cheta, chaitanya means it comes to consciousness.
Sarvasya chaham vidhi sannivisto.
Matta smriti jnanam apohanancha. Apohanam. Matta smriti jnanam apohanancha. And he is not remembering. Daily reading, but forgetting. Beginning what? Sloka. Matta smriti jnanam apohanancha. Smriti and apohan. Then the commentator says, those who are having more good, punyam, they remember.
Sarvasya chaham vidhi sannivisto.
Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivista. Matta smriti jnanam apohanancha.
15.
15. From me the remembrance as well as forgetfulness. Then why forgetfulness? Because not having more good, the commentator says. Matta smriti jnanam apohanancha. So that is chitta. The remembrance and forgetfulness are in the chitta. And Swami Shivanji knows well that every aspirant forgets everything. Nicely manages to forget. So only remember two things. Either God or death. But he will be reaching your goal. Remember always only two things. One of them. Either of the God or death. And what Shivanji said. Why they have classified only try to remember one of the two things. They know well. These aspirants are not having much to remember. They manage to forget. Even they don't want, they forget everything. We are forgetting stories also.
We can enjoy them again.
But you don't tell like that. He says, I don't remember. Repetition is good. Even in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, so many parables are repeated. Because different devotees were coming and so repetition is not bad. But forgetting them and asking again you repeat. Of course, that is good for me. Now he goes further. Now he has given the illustration. Now through illustration what he wants to prove, that is called Drashtanta. Drashtanta is illustration. That now he is going to give. Jagrad vrittavapi tu antaschetasa kalpitam tu asat. Bhaishcheto Guritam Sadyuktam Maitati Metayo. Even the waking state, what is imagined by the mind within the mind is unreal. While what is grasped by the mind outside is real. It is reasonable to hold both these to be unreal. Because, you see, just they are imagined by the mind. Imagined by the mind in the waking state, mind is changing. The changing thing is not permanent. And we know by Vedanta the mind is an inert thing. Sadasator Vaitatyam Yuktam Antar Bahischeta Kalpitatva Vicheshaditi Vyakhyātam Anyat. When you say in the waking state, what is imagined by the mind within is unreal, while what is grasped by the mind outside is real, you say. Imagine in the mind, you say it is unreal. And outside whatever you say it is real. But he says both are unreal. Sadasator Vaitatyam Yuktam. If everything is unreal, then the knower, the known, what is to be known, are the proof, valid proof, direct, indirect inference. What will happen to all these things? Opponent is asked. Pramana Prameya Pramat Vivahara Anupapatti. Then he says, in the next sloka, it comes Ubhayorapi Vaitatyam. Here it is reasonable to hold both the real and unreal to be unreal only. For there is nothing uncommon in them, since they are imagined by the mind only. As we have discussed, everything is in the mind. And you are carrying the whole world in your mind. That's why you think too much and stress, and after a heart attack. Oh, when you know, why should you take so much of stress and unnecessarily going on imagining? Put one word, everything unreal. I am the Atman, but no stress. Happy and happy, like a child. But unnecessarily they start imagining, oh, wasting the energy by thinking unnecessary things. For there is nothing uncommon in them, since they are imagined by the mind only. That's why many times I told, whenever you feel the oscillation of the mind is more due to your past impressions. gave many illustrations. Whether you remember or not, I don't know. Huh? In olden days, especially in India, they use wells, W-E-L-L, well, for drinking water, for every purpose. For the whole village, there used to be one well. And the wall of the well is built by big stones. And they drag the water through the bucket with a soft rope which is made up of coconut fiber. Rope is very soft. The wall of the well is built of stone. Because of constantly dragging the heavy bucket, and there is a rupture between the wall and the rope, and after some time you see so many lines on the wall of the rope. In the same way, since many births, few impressions, the anger, the lust, ego, body consciousness, these have taken so much of deep root. Because of them, see, take a small cloth and just hold in one corner. You shake it, is it not? It is well shaken. But if you lose the grip, what happens? If you lose the grip, what happens? The cloth is. So what is that grip? Now because of old impressions, mind is oscillated so much. Shaking. Mind is shaking, but you are shaking. At that time you should tighten the hold. I am the Atman, I am not the mind, but there ends the matter. Everything is going on in the mind. Then you will be happy. Oh, this is nothing, nothing is happening. And this So, again and again I say, don't run after the mind. Mind is your servant. And you are the owner. Owner should never hear the servant. Servant should hear the owner. So, try to control the mind. Very simple. Have little discrimination and go ahead. Either internally or externally, the rest has already been explained, he says. For there is nothing uncommon in them, since they are imagined by the mind only. Everything. Just remember this, what mind is an inert thing. And I am the Atman consciousness. Existence, bliss absolute. Knowledge absolute. Again he asks that we are the work, instrument of work, relation between these things. How can we prove? The answer Siddhanti whenever he gives, he talks of the absolute. And the opponent always drags him to the relativeness.
The opponent?
He drags him to the relative world.
Greg, מושך אותו למעלה.
Because the opponent, he has not much developed mind. He is more after the relative world, more after body consciousness, and he works through the mind. He never goes beyond the mind. But the Siddhanti always goes beyond the mind. That's why again and again he asks. See, so far the opponent has asked all the questions pertaining to the relativity. He never goes beyond. Now again he says, how there can be a doer, how the work, for the works of instruments are the relation between the fruits of the work and all these things. That means again he is putting into the relative world. The opponent asks, उभयोरपि वैतथ्यं वेदानां स्थानयोर्यदि कई एतान् बुध्यते वेदान् को वा तेषां विकल्पकः. Now the opponent has become little intelligent. Why? He says, if everything is unreal, who is the knower? This little discrimination has come. For so much of these changes, who is the creator of all this change of mind? He is asking. That's why he says, if everything is real, the knower, the known, what is to be known, the doer, the doership, and the action, and the result, what will happen to these things? And who is the knower of these things? That is the question. Ubhayorapi Vaitathyam. Explain the sloka first. Arthapatti Virodham is shown, he says. Says, what you are asking is opposed to a proof. It is called Arthapatti. The proof, what is the name of the proof? It is Arthapatti. This we have already explained. A man is very fat and strong. He is not eating in the daytime. He is not eating in the daytime. So what you infer? He must be eating in the night. Well, so this is called Arthapatti. It is all right. The illustration is all right. How you will be using the illustration in Vedanta? That means Narada went and asked Sanat Kumar, Tarti Sokam Atmavik, the knower of Atman, overcomes grief. That means something should be there which is producing grief or sorrow. All the ailments, we call it mind, ego, attachment, I and mind, you may call it whatever it is. Something is there. By that, an illusory world is there. That is giving the grief and sorrow. It is inferred. In scriptures, nowhere you will get directly telling the world is unreal. Anyadartham, that much he says. Besides the self, what is ever is there, that is decaying. It is.
Petty, tucham.
Tucham. Anidartha. Nashvat. It is. So, but in Gita, it is nicely explained. Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasmam dukkhalayam asashvatam. Here you see we have finished 12 stanzas, 12 mantras. Anywhere did you get? The word is unreal. He says dream is unreal. Waking state is unreal. And then sleeping state is unreal. But directly never says the whole world is unreal. We infer that the world is unreal. But in Smritis it is clearly told. Dukkhalayam asashvatam. So, when you are seeing an unreal thing cannot know an unreal thing. A pot cannot produce another pot. So, a real static thing should be there. Mind is continuously changing. Now he is going to tell. You are having an experience. And then you remember it. So, the experience and the remembrance should be recorded by one thing. And then somebody experiencing, somebody remembering. So, the recording factor is the Atma. Who experiences, he alone can remember. So, there is something behind. That we call self. Now he says Arthapatti. Inference from circumstances, we can say also. If the objects of both the states be unreal, who comprehends all these and who again imagines them? That is the question put by the opponent. Swapna jagrastaniyor vedhanam yadi veitatyam ko vaitesha mikalpakaha. If you say the objects of the dream as well as the objects of the waking state are unreal, then who is aware of these? Ka etan antarbahishchetah kalpitan bujyate. It is created by the mind, both outer and inner. And who is the knower? If the objects seen in both the waking and dream state be unreal, who does cognize all these which are imagined internally and externally by the mind? Who is the knower? That is the question. Kova tesham vikalpakaha. Who does again imagine them? The drift is this: if you think that the theory of non-existence of the self is not desirable, Sunyavada, it should be explained what the support of memory and knowledge. Memory and knowledge. Knowledge is experience and memory. So, what is supporting these two? And you don't want to go to the void, you cannot say, I am not existing. Can you say? Even a madman also will never say, I am not existing. So if you don't accept the doer or the experiencer, are a proof for the existence of your own self. I am existing. So the theory of non-existence will come if you don't accept. That cannot be. You cannot refute the existence of your own Atman. It is not possible. Now, here, while discussing, again he says, Natyen niratmavadah istaha. You don't accept that something is there who is the support for both of these things. Then we have to accept Shunyavada, void. From void nothing can come. From void nothing can come. Who is the seer of the void? Who is the experiencer? Who is explaining? All these questions will arise. So, nobody says I am not there. I am not now not existing. Nobody says. So, we cannot conclude as void. But there should be a support between the knowledge and remembrance that what he says. The doer first experiences an object, then remembers and imagines the same. So, smriti anubhava ashrayatvena nirmatritvena. So, you have asked what he has asked. Who again imagines them? First he experiences, remembers, then he imagines. A doer is necessary, an experiencer is necessary to say both of these, the experience and the remembrance. Doership can be explained, or else we have to accept why. Everything. Sarvamichyatve durvaraha. Everything is void. No remembrance, no experience, no I-ness and no minus. The doer in the self, the doer of the gods, the doer of Ishvara, you take anybody, these two things are necessary. Experience and remembrance. These two you have to accept as unreal doership, and doer cannot be proved. There should be somebody as the doer, as the experience. Nachet niratmavadaha. Otherwise.
అది ఎక్కడి నుంచి చెప్తున్నారో అడుగుతున్నారు. నేను అన్నాను టీకా నుంచి చెప్తున్నారు.
It is also the subconscious.
It is the reason I have opened it. But it doesn't have English. No, this is Bhashya. There is Anandgiri sub-commentary on that.
So that we have written in a series, all writing the subconscious.
But it doesn't have English, so Swamiji has translated. I have it in Sanskrit here.
Now again he is asking something else. He is removing the differences of the ruling. Kalpayati. Kalpayati atmana atmanam atmadeva swamaya saeva buddhite vedaniti vedanta nishchaya. The self-luminous self by its own maya imagines. He has asked, who is imagining all these things, the real and unreal and all these things? This is the self. by itself. It alone cognizes all objects. This is settled fact of Vedanta text. So, he is removing other cause. Atmana, Atmanam. And he says, Atma Devaha. Negating there is no other doer, only the Atman. And he says, self-luminous, so other light is not necessary, that's why he uses the Deva. Diti Jyotanat Devaha, self-effulgent. Again he says, Swamayaya. Here he says, he has explained the Vivartavada, he says. Refuting Sankhya, Sankhya is Parinamavada. That illusion, without having the support of consciousness, is the creator. And there are many individuals, and this illusion gives illumination to the individual.
This is Sankhya. According to Sankhya.
That I told you. He is refuting Sankhya. Then, what is Vivarta? Atatmika anyatha abhava vivartaha. You are seeing a rope, but you say it is a snake. So, the thing is as it is there. The thing is there as it is. A snake is not there on the rope. But you see, is it not? Where is it? It is in your mind. The snake. So the thing is not changing. But you are seeing it otherwise. Take, for example, silver on the mother pearl. If it is not there, you should not see. If it is there, you should take it to the house and make nice plate and other things. Both things will not happen, you see. You see, but you cannot take it. That means, if it is real, it should not disappear. If it is unreal, you should not see. That means, what they say is, a thing is not changing. The rope is not changing, but looks like a snake. That is called Vivartavada. The Brahman is not changing. The Atman is not changing. Then what is changing? Mind is changing. In that all the illusion you have got. So, and again I told, the whole world is within you. Because you create I and mine and you get attached to this and say, I am happy and I am sorrowful, I am grief-stricken. All these things you see. So everything is in the mind. That it is. That's why you are not changing. That is the boyhood which you have experienced. Now the same you are experiencing the youth. So something is there within you which is not changing. I did like this in my boyhood. Now, again, you enter into the old age. Old age. Even then you say, I used to do like this, I used to do like this. What has changed? Your body has changed. The I-ness, the ego, one unchanging thing is there in you, which is recording the changes of your body and mind. Because it is static, because it is real, it is not changing. Only an unreal thing changes. The changing thing is not real. See? That's why it says, there is no other cause than Atman. Swamayaya. And again he says, how he is by his ignorance. As I told you again and again, there is no snake on the rope. But we see there is no silver on the mother pearl. We see the mother pearl is not changing, the rope is not changing. So he says, by your own ignorance, you are attached to the body, mind, and objects of the world. So Maya is by your own ignorance. If you get detached, you give up everything, then you will be at peace. The more and more you are attached to the things, more and more stress you will be getting in the mind. It is but natural. First he was a single person will be there, he is quite happy, doing so much of exercise, very happy, not caring for anything, young man. As soon as he marries, he gives half of the mind to the wife. Afterwards, one or two issues, and the mind is again divided and he gives to the issues.
Children.
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 With the issues.
Side.
So, in this way, the more and more you are attached to a thing, your mind is dragged outside, and more difficulties, more sorrow. If something happens, you say, oh, it is on me. Give up everything. So Sri Ramakrishna says, a crow from somewhere got a piece of flesh. And all the crows are behind it to take that flesh. So it leaves and goes and sits in a place. In the same way, you give up everything, you are in your own self. Sri Ramakrishna puts very simply the thing. So it says, Swamaya, by your own ignorance, you have created all these things. You are the knower of your own experience, and you are remembering, and you are imagining. That's what he says, this picture. Even everything is unreal, creates diversity, the doership and everything. So, Sayeva Buddhyate. He says, you have asked what is the cause of imagination of the differences. The doer and the action and the result. How they are connected. All these things you have asked. Says, it is all in the relative plane. And because Sayeva Buddhyate, he alone cognizes all objects. That is the self. So, only again and again I say, if you classify the whole world, only two things are there. One is real consciousness, your Atman, and all other things are unreal, inert things. Mind is inert according to Shastras, body is inert, senses, sense, senses are inert, outside objects are inert. So you are the seer, everything is seen. What is seen is unreal. So Vedanta puts it in simple words. What he told? By what you are imagining. That is his question. Then he says, it is only one thing is there, Swamaya, he has created everything and he imagines himself. So mind is everything. Sayeva Bhujyate, he alone cognizes all. This is a settled fact of Vedanta. Self-luminous self, by its own Maya, imagines itself by itself, and it alone cognizes all objects. This is a settled fact of Vedanta text. Now,
అది మొదటి లైన్లో స్వం ఆత్మానం ఆత్మా దేవ కాదు ఆత్మ ఆత్సా అని రాస్తారు ప్రింటింగ్ మిస్టేక్ సంస్కృతంలో భాష్యంలో
no, no, no. That is already I have corrected.
మీరు చేస్తే వేరే వాళ్ళని చెప్పాలి కదా.
Now we will go to the commentary. Swayam Swamaya Swam Atmanam Atma. It should be in the Sanskrit text. It is Atsa is there. Mr. Masa is there. Better to correct the script. The imaginary diversity of all the objects is shown by this creation, by the text. It is settled fact of Vedanta text. Now we go to the commentary. As in the case of potter, here there is no other base or support. See, in the relative plane, when a potter wants to make a pot, he is the instrumental cause and the material cause should be there. But what about the creation? What about your own creation? Then nobody is there. You are the material cause and you are the instrumental cause. Everything is in your own mind. Say Swayam, Swamaya, Swamatmanam Atma Devaha, Atmanyev Vakshamanam Vedakaram Kalpeti, the self-luminous self, by its own Maya, imagined in itself, different forms to be explained later, just as a snake and the rest are imagined on the roof, etc. See. Now, material cause is different from the instrumental cause. But here it is not so. That's why it is Swamatmanam, Swamaya, Swamatmanam. When you see the dream, nothing you are taking from outside. And everything is in your own mind. The impressions of the past and present and the imaginary future. What do you imagine? Everything you see in the dream. And immediately after waking up you say, the dream is unreal. Why? You are seeing a dream. So the seer of the dream is real and what is seen is unreal. Vedanta says it is same in the waking state also. But if you are getting attached to a particular thing, it is your headache. It is not the headache of Vedanta. Not the teacher. You are getting attached to a thing by eye and mind. As I put it previously, as I told you, the I and mine are the creations of the individual. The rest is the creation of the God. Because of this I and mine, you are getting attached. And you start weeping and wailing. So Vedanta says, it is your headache. We are not bothered. He says, this is a settled fact of Vedanta text. So the commentary is not explained for this particular stanza. The commentary will be explained afterwards.